So the next topic is pollination. What is the mean of pollination? Transfer of pollen grains from stamen to stigma. You take the stigma, you know here pollen grains. Transfer of pollen grains from stamen to stigma is called pollination. This pollination, two types mainly, autogamy, allogamy. Autogamy means self-pollination. It is a self-pollination. Autogamy means transfer of pollen grains from stamen to stigma of the same flower. Stamen to stigma of the same flower is called self-pollination. That is autogamy. Allogamy. Transfer of pollen grains from stamen of the one flower to stigma of another flower. Transfer of pollen grains from stamen of the one flower to stigma of another flower is called allogamy, that is cross-pollination. That cross-pollination again two types, geitonogamy and xenogamy. Geitonogamy and xenogamy. Geitonogamy means very simple. You take this is the plant. Transfer of pollen grains from stamen of the one flower to stigma of another flower present on the same plant. Transfer of pollen grains from stamen of the one flower to stigma of another flower present on the same plant is called geitonogamy. It is a genetically self-pollination. Genetically self-pollination. Now xenogamy. You take this is one plant. This is another plant. Okay. Transfer of pollen grains clearly from stamen of the one flower to stigma of another flower present on different plants. Present on different plants. You take two plants. Okay. Transfer of pollen grains from stamen of the one flower to stigma of another flower present on different plants is called xenogamy. So it is a true cross pollination. Okay. Actually, when you take in oxalis, viola, and commelina, in these plants, clistogamous flowers are present. Clistogamous flowers and chasmogamous flowers are present. Here, what is the difference between clistogamous and chasmogamous flowers? Clistogamous means unopened, they are closed flowers. So when the flowers are closed, the stamen is releasing the pollen grains. That pollen grains falls on the stigma. That pollination is self-pollination. So for this pollination, no agents are required. Without any agent, pollination directly takes place. So that is the usefulness of clistogamy. In clistogamy, no agents are required. Directly the stamen releasing the pollen grains falls on the stigma of the same flower. Whereas chasmogamous flowers are also present. They are open flowers. So they are open. So in the chasmogamous flowers, there is a possibility self-pollination and cross-pollination. But maximum possibility in the clistogamous flowers, what is that one? Self-pollination. So they contain both clistogamous and chasmogamous flowers. In the clistogamous flowers, no agent is required. No pollinating agent. Okay. Here agents. Which agents are involving for pollination? Water and air, abiotic agent. Animals, biotic agents. In abiotic agents, which one is more involving for pollination is the wind. Wind is the more involving. The wind is the agent for pollination. Rarely water is also agent. Suppose in 30 genera, almost in 30 genera monocots, for them water is required. Not only that one, you know bryophytes and pteridophytes, then the male gametes are motile. That motile male gametes swim in the water. Water is required for bryophytes and pteridophytes. It is clear. But generally you take Vallisneria, Hydrilla and Zostera. Zosteraceae grasses. They are aquatic plants. Pollen grains are present in the water. So the stigma receives the pollen grains. Especially in these aquatic plants, that the pollen grains are not wetting. They are present in the water, but they are not wetting. They are that that wetting process prevented by mucilaginous substance present around the pollen grain. So the pollen grain containing the mucilaginous substance. So that is why the pollen grains are protecting from wetting. Okay. And especially the pollen grains, for example, you take the pollen grains are dispersed by the wind or the pollen grains are carried through animals. They are generally dispersed by the wind and falls on the stigma. Generally, stigmas are feathery like, especially in the dense inflorescence. Dense inflorescence is present in maize, monocots, maize. So that feathery like stigma receives the pollen grains. So here, if dense inflorescence is there, feathery like stigmas are present. Animals also act as agents for pollination. Bees, butterflies, flies, beetles, wasps, ants, moths, birds, mainly sunbird and hummingbird. They act as agents for pollination. Majority bees and insects act as agents for pollination. Not only that one, even animals, primate animals, the lemurs and rodents also. Not only that one, reptiles. Reptiles also act as agents. And mainly these insect attracting flowers are large. They are showy, which attracts the insects because they contain the nectar. Some of the flowers contain the nectars. So that is why the insects falls on the flowers for nectar only. So that helpful for pollination. And when you go to Amorphophallus, their flowers grow up to 6 feet. There the insect lays the eggs on Amorphophallus flower. Not only that one, mainly you take yucca moth, Pronuba yuccacella. There is a moth. There is a relation. Here the moth insect lays the eggs in the ovary of yucca plant. Like that the pollination takes place. So that is the relationship between yucca and the moth. So these are the agents for pollination.